same sector, the same part and other sectors, with the understanding that responsibility for sanitation lies with several other ministries. As you are aware, the national program to end eutrophication in Nigeria, tagged Clean Nigeria Inter-Ministerial campaign, was launched by the Vice President of Sanitation on 19 November 2018, which coincided with the World Toilet Day, following which President Buhari signed Executive Order No. 9 for open-free Nigeria by 2025 and other related matters. This was on 20th November 2019, the day after the launching of the campaign. The Executive Order is meant to give effect to the Clean Nigeria campaign. As of today, Nigeria has become the global leader among the countries with the highest number of people practicing open defecation, with an estimated for 7 million people indulging in the act. India, a former leader, was able to exit the ladder through its Swachh Bharat mission, as Clean India mission, which modeled political commitment, public funding, partnership, and people's participation as a success mantra. Riding on the strong political leadership being demonstrated by the President and the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we on our part should not rest on our oars that we will achieve success and take Nigeria out of this unfortunate position. In line with the National Action Plan for the Revitalization of the Water Sector and Water Sanitation and Hygiene Sector, which was launched by the President on the 8th November 2018, along with the declaration of a state of emergency on the sector, we must ensure that every Nigerian has access to sustainable and safely managed water services by 2030, in line with Sustainable Development Goals 6.1 and 6.2, and to end open defecation by the year 2025. Our different ministries here today have a role to play in the sanitation business across our different sectors. It is well we complement each other's efforts that the country can make progress towards achieving Sustainable Development Goal 6. We must therefore strengthen coordination within and across our ministries to avoid duplication of efforts and ensure targeted and judicious use of resources. My ministry is committed to engaging with you on defined areas of collaboration as we strive towards ensuring that all Nigerians have access to basic facilities and live in a healthy environment. We believe that we have a fulfilling mission in this regard. I welcome you all once again to this event and look forward to your positive contribution as we proceed. Thank you very much.
Having a clean environment is key to mothers and women, and it is the top priority of every responsible woman or a mother to ensure that our environment is kept clean, and having our toilets and ensuring that we campaign against open defecation is very central to my ministry. And I want to reassure you of the commitment of my ministry to ensure that we work together to ensure that our health institutions, our schools have enough clean toilets, water system toilets, to ensure that our girls, the girl child, which is top on my agenda, is retained in school, because without these clean toilets, she cannot cope to be in school when she's having her menstrual period. I therefore call on all the ministries involved to ensure that we work together to ensure that this campaign is sustained so that we can have a clean environment across all the states and local government areas. But the commitment of my ministry is total. Thank you.
Dialogue. Sanitation and open defecation is a very serious problem of environment. As you are all aware, if we allow open defecation freely, it leads to diseases, or especially polio disease, which is at this point trying to leave this country. Very soon, Nigeria will have a polio-free certificate, and with open defecation, we will go back to where we were, where we have serious cases of polio. Apart from polio, other diseases that are waterborne also be prevalent. We want to also advise that we need to leverage on the traditional institutions, to collaborate with them, to sensitize them and carry this dialogue to them, because they are key. They are the ones who are in direct contact with the grassroots. So we need to leverage on that institution, traditional institutions, to collaborate with them to ensure that the campaign is taking the grassroots.
The Ministry of Education would take you from cradle to grave because we constantly develop people. But the institutions we use, essentially the schools, may have problems with some of the conceptualization ideas, being that people, at the early stage of intake, people go to school for just a very short period of time. And the day maybe from 8 till about 2. The rest of the time they spend at the basic level. We own about, there are about 115,000 primary schools around Nigeria in the 7 central local governments, and 65,800 of those are public schools. The thing is, because the constitution of the country is also, we have subnationals who are state governments who control the education is in a correct list, and therefore even the designs of the primary schools are controlled by them. The scheme in the ministry, which is to have in every school 6 toilets with a wash hand basin, 6 toilets for girls, 6 toilets for boys, would actually be.
Because we can't be reinventing the wheel. If there is a national policy, we also have the Executive Order 009, which is on open defecation. But the one for sanitation is a national policy document that we have to make everyone aware of, and we drive it from there. My brother, Minister of State Education, said something when you were describing about the schools, the catapult, or is it short put you called it, and getting us to enforce laws. We find that we're not short of policies or laws. Enforcement is the issue. For as long as people realize there is no consequence for action, we cannot get our system to work. Our system can only work when people actually realize there is consequence for action and they are penalized. Under the Ministry of Environment, we have the Health Officers Registration Council, who licenses and registers the sanitation officers. This will be repositioned in the Ministry of Environment throughout there. In fact, they've started on the process. They did the Lassa fever awareness campaign. Lassa fever is part of sanitation breakdown. Even on the coronavirus issue as well, it is sanitation. So all this ties with. My brother minister will speak more on the issue of Hericon and enforcing
that directly impact on what we are doing here about protecting government infrastructure. And part of that is what we are talking about here. To end open defecation, of course, there must be some kind of infrastructural facility to be provided. So that was the theme there. So all that said and done, the issue of sanitation, and usually it's water and sanitation. You cannot separate the two. Just as I always say, the Ministry of Water Resources and Environment are twins, actually Siamese twins put together. We cannot work in silos, as we always say. Provide the water, you get the sanitation. Starting with the coronavirus that we're just talking about now, you need to wash your hands constantly. How do you do that? You have to have enough water. So the issue of water is, you have many different ways that you can get diseases for not doing the correct sanitation, for not having enough water, or for not having the good quality water you need. So this I think that we need to collaborate between the two of us. You can have water wash diseases. These are diseases that are as a result of inadequate good quality water. An individual needs at least 90 liters of good quality water per day to be able to do all your sanitation needs. At least 90 liters.